if you want to get into this stuff, I would recommend that you watch the movie Revelation, the Bride, the Beast, and Babylon. So I know I've said a lot, and that's why we recommend that you study with us this matter carefully so that you can better understand. But I want to end this video with my man, Dr. Conrad Vine. And I love how he says it. The issue is that oftentimes we will say persecution could never happen here. And then we end up by saying persecution. I didn't believe that persecution could happen here. Let's take a listen.
All the ingredients of the persecution of God's end-time people are already in place. COVID-19 has unwittingly revealed to us that the ingredients are already in place. And so based on what we're witnessing with COVID-19, what could these ingredients look like for those who are faithful to God in the final crisis of true worship, to fear God as the Creator, and worship Him on the Sabbath day, or to follow a false day of worship imposed by the papacy, that is the Sunday? What could some of those ingredients of persecution look like? Well, if we just tweak a few words here and there, this is what may well happen. We may see that those who are faithful to God will see that their civil and religious liberties will be revoked, and their First Amendment rights will evaporate. They'll be meaningless. We will see the closure of all church buildings, of all church colleges, of all church unions, administrative offices, and church entities. We will not be able to gather together for worship, for prayer meetings, or for evangelism of any kind. We may be deplatformed on social media and cancelled from public culture. We may lose our ability to put stuff online. Internet service providers may refuse to deal with us, and so we are cut off from the wider world. Our ability to buy, to sell, to bank, and to travel will be suspended for all time, that is, until Jesus comes again. Our savings, our retirement accounts, or our IRAs, our investment accounts will all be frozen, never to be used again. Our financial resources will be gone once and for all. And unable to pay for our mortgages or our rents for our homes or our businesses, we will be forced from our homes, and all of our possessions will be stripped from us, and our businesses will be taken from us as well. We will be demonized across the political spectrum and in all media. As Jesus said, and I quote from Mark 13:13, "You will be hated by all men for my name's sake." We will be hounded by mobs in the streets of social justice warriors and by state bureaucrats drunk on the absolute powers that emergency declarations seemingly give to them. Track and trace apps on our phones will trace our every movement, and our smart devices will record every word that we ever utter. The only thing I suggest to you today that stands between us and that final persecution is a political excuse to turn these ingredients upon God's faithful remnant. We are very close to the final persecution of God's faithful people. So how do we respond to the reality of this persecution that is coming this way? Well, perhaps the two most commonly heard expressions or sayings you hear related to persecution in our world today are, number one, "Oh, persecution will never happen here," and number two, "We never thought persecution could happen here."
There you go.
These are the two most commonly heard expressions among Christians relating to persecution today. Again, persecution could never happen here, and then we never thought that persecution could happen here.
And it did. And it has. And it will take place again. But God's people are not to be fearful. But we are told, a time is coming. Let me see if I could find this for you. This is Desire of Ages 121. We are told that every earthly support will be cut off. So this is not, there he goes right there. In the last day conflict of the controversy with Satan, those who are loyal to God will see that every earthly support cut off because they refuse to break the law of God to earthly powers. They will be forbidden to buy and sell. It will be decreed that they shall be put to death. To the enemies of the church who are thinking Seventh-day Adventists are delusional, let me read something to you. Hitherto, those who present the truth of the third angel's message have often been regarded as mere alarmists. Their prediction that the religious intolerance will gain control in the United States and that church and state will unite to persecute those who keep the commandments of God have been pronounced as groundless and absurd. It has been confidently declared that this land could never become what it has been. Persecution could never happen here. Oh, I never thought persecution could happen here. The defender of the religious freedom, but as the question of enforcing Sunday observance is widely agitated. Let me read this part again. It has been confidently declared that this land could never become other than what it has been. And if you're still thinking this could never happen, all you have to do, just look at what happened recently with the COVID-19 pandemic and the mandates and the way people were treated. It should really send you a message that with the right crisis, you will see a change in our Constitution. We are told that every amendment of this Constitution will be repudiated. And if you don't think this could happen, friends, just look at history. Look at history. Look how quickly things were changed overnight and how your rights were taken away. You lost your jobs and you were fired. Why? Because you didn't want to put the thing in your body. It was that easy of a change. And you think this could not happen again? All it takes is a good crisis. And we are told never let a good crisis go to waste. Now, listen to this. The defender of religious freedom, we are told this country has always been. But here's the thing. But as the question of enforcing Sunday observance is widely agitated, the evidence so long doubted in disbelief is seen to be approaching. And that the third angel's message will produce an effect which it could not have had before.